Big update for Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. How long will this last? Can it last all the way to WrestleMania? Some people think so. We also got a huge update here for Gable Steveson, who was recently drafted to WWE Raw. And we got some more updates on NXT 2.0, the recent call-ups after the draft. That and more in this edition of Freestyle Friday here on the Top Story.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Top Story. I'm Jose G. Next to me, Jeremy Bennett. We're here to bring you all the news that you need to know in today's Freestyle Friday edition of the Top Story. Welcome, guys. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, engaging with the show. We got tons to talk about. Brock versus Roman continues, Jeremy. Just when you thought that people were going to get Roman and The Rock, no, it looks like we're going to get Brock versus Roman. I'm already starting to see some comments earlier in the post where people are kind of a little bit upset about it, but there's a long game to this, ain't there?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of stuff they can do with Brock and Roman to get them to WrestleMania. You know, you got the Paul Heyman factor with this. Of course, Paul Heyman being the longtime advocate for the Beast, Brock Lesnar, and now being on the side of the Tribal Chief for the past couple of years now. And so there's definitely a way to keep this going all the way to Mania. And it may almost be better to save Rock and Roman for maybe Hollywood. You know, maybe that might be the better destination and might be the more realistic destination anyways with the Rock schedule. So, continuing to this feud, I mean, they barely have scratched the surface on this feud. You know, we've seen them go face to face a couple of times. So yeah, and Crown Jewel is coming up just in a couple weeks. So it isn't out of the realm of possibility to stretch this out to Mania.
Yeah, and this is a different feud too, because we're dealing with a different Roman, we're dealing with a different Brock, So I think the dynamic in this feud is going to be a tad different than what we've seen back during the Big Dog days and the camo gear. So or the tactical gear. So it's going to be a different game. So we're just going to have to see how this all pans out. And you know what, long-term story, it's okay. It's going to be fine because, Roman needs something long-term. The cool thing about Brock is that we're not going to get him every single week. He's going to be a special attraction. He's going to be on special occasions. So, we may not see Brock maybe for a month at a time before his actual build-up. So it could be a good thing. It could be a good thing.
Yeah, I think I think there's a way to do it. They've done a very good job of telling the long story between the Usos and Roman Reigns, and they've been stretching that out for a very long time. So I don't doubt that they, and Paul Heyman has a lot of input on how all that plays out in terms of storyline. So I have no doubt that Paul has a plan probably to stretch this out for a long time. Because they've been able to do it with the Usos, and it's been they've done a good job with that story all together, leading up to all three guys now being on the same page.
And guys, today is Freestyle Friday. We're going to be jumping into your questions at the end of the show. So save them all. Go ahead and put them in. We're going to be jumping into the comments. But I did like this one here. He's asking, Jeremy and Jose, would you be shocked if, let's say, they call up Jimmy and Jay's brother, and then down the road they call up Rock's daughter and put them in the bloodline? I mean, do you think that's a little bit too much?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard telling what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know how far away Rock's daughter is from being ready. And same with the brothers of the Usos. I don't know how far away they are from being ready. But we didn't know how far away Parker Bordeaux was from being ready, and he made his debut this week. So
you mean Gunnar Harlan, or is that that's his name? Yeah. Guys, if you want my opinion on that, go ahead and check out the debrief, our post show and review on NXT and AEW Dynamite. It's every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. You can check it out on our YouTube channel. Plus, we got tons of content over there We have over 20,400. I think we're just hit 500. So 20,500 subscribers right now. Thanks to you guys so much for the support. Continue to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell, man. So let's jump into our second story here. We got an update on Gable Steveson, the Olympic gold medalist, recently not only signed to the WWE, but signed and drafted to Monday Night Raw. One of the surprise drafts of the night, I would say, because that really caught me by surprise. I really didn't have it in the back of my mind that he was going to be coming straight to the main roster. But we know that Gable Steveson has an exclusive type of deal, a special deal, because I think he's still going to school, isn't he?
Yeah. He's still going to finish up his senior year at the University of Minnesota and defend his NCAA title. He will be able to, that was already reported a while back. He's going to be able to, train remotely. They have everything set up there for him to kind of have his own personal performance center up in Minnesota during wrestling season. Of course, this is one of the more unique deals in WWE history because they were able to sign Steveson to a deal with, the new NIL, name, image, and likeness deal that the NCAA has struck, where athletes can now make money off of their name, image, and likeness, where they couldn't be able to do so now. So that's where the WWE was able to sign him. So, and obviously he said in interviews, as soon as he has signed, an interview came out within the first week saying he does not expect to go to NXT. And sure enough, the deal was made there to prove it when he got drafted to Monday Night Raw. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because now the story for today goes, a little update from Dave Meltzer at the Wrestling Observer. They are planning for him to make his debut at WrestleMania this year, WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. So he'll be training, probably making a television appearance or two, probably if they're up close, or as long as it doesn't conflict with his schedules at Minnesota. You'll probably see him on TV a few times leading up. But the plan is now to make his debut at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, man, I think this is very interesting. The guy was in Tokyo earlier this year, had a hell of a matchup, won the gold medal in the last 5 seconds of the matchup. And the guy's just incredible. And he can go. I mean, I've seen him train with Brock. I've seen the video of him training in Minnesota with Brock. The guy can go. I think the guy is very talented. I think he can do really good things in WWE. And I think this is the right call, because the name is already kind of a household name because he was the gold medal in the Olympics. Yeah. I mean, the guy had several media calls and appearances all over broadcast television. So the guy is a household name now. So this is good. I think this is good for him. But one of the interesting facts here on the story, when I was reading up on it, is that his brother, Bobby Steveson, has a contract with NXT at the Performance Center. And not only his remote access training facility over there allows him to do that, but he can come to Orlando at any time, whenever he wants, and have access to the Performance Center as well. So Gable's got a great deal. I just hope he comes across, and I hope they book him as a heel. Because I think that'll be kind of fitting, kind of coming off of Kurt Angle, retiring a few years back. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to book him. I would be surprised if he's a heel, though, with just who he is and wrestling for.
Vince is going to want him to be a heel, dude.
Yeah. So it's interesting to note that they said that his talent contract doesn't officially begin until he graduates in May, but yet they're planning on having him do a debut at WrestleMania. So I don't know if it's going to be a wrestling capacity or what exactly they're going to do with Steveson at WrestleMania.
Good way to introduce him here. Steven Chambers is saying maybe special guest referee at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know, because like the NCAA Wrestling Championships, those take place in March, so he would technically be done with his Minnesota career before WrestleMania. So maybe the talent contract maybe got moved up. Maybe they changed their plans on that and decided to include him on WrestleMania this year.
Definitely an interesting time to be watching and being a wrestling fan with all this stuff going on with this brand new talent. But we have one more story in our Freestyle Friday edition here of the top story. Guys, get your questions and comments in on screen. Jeremy and I are going to be going back into the comments and answering your questions. Go ahead and showing off your comments before we end the show for the weekend. So go ahead, chime in now, subscribe to the YouTube channel, smash that notification bell. Help us get to 30,000, guys. Just help us out. Smash that notification bell. If you're watching on Facebook, share this video in your favorite wrestling group and tag your friends in the comment section so they can join in on today's conversation. All right, man. We had a huge WWE draft this past weekend. It started last week on Friday, culminated this Monday. And on Monday, we got to see a lot more names than usual being drafted from NXT. And now we know we got some more backstage updates on why these NXT call-ups happened and who are they? What's going on here?
Yeah, it looks like, especially with Hit Row, the decision to call up Hit Row was not made until just days before the draft had happened. And this was kind of a widely publicized deal, but they had reiterated that nobody in the organization regarding NXT was really told anything. So if the switches were based on, even if the switches were based on booking patterns to an extent and were predictable in most cases, nobody was really told anything in NXT. And of course, NXT is still, I mean, there's still a feud with Legado del Fantasma. Swerve still has the North American title. So that kind of goes to show that a lot of those things were very last minute. They talked about Austin Theory. They had that WWE has the management has the same belief in him as they do Ridge Holland, who they both for both guys, they believe there's a belief that they could be WWE champions down the road. So they decided now was the time to pull the trigger on those guys. Of course, Theory has been on the main roster before as part of Seth Rollins' faction when he was the Monday Night Messiah. And then lastly, they talked about Xia Li and said that the decision to call her up is because the company wants to build around a Chinese star. They really have not had a superstar, a championship caliber superstar from China. They feel like they can do that with the Xia Li and probably maybe strengthen their foothold within China if the WWE decides to go on a grand scale overseas tour once everything with COVID kind of calms down.
Well, man, I'm kind of excited. Ridge Holland has that look for the main roster. He definitely has that look. I can see Xia Li being a cool character, because she already looks like a Mortal Kombat character or a character from Big Trouble in Little China. So I think she has a very marketable character, and the Chinese market is huge. You thought the India market was big. The Chinese market is even bigger. So this could be big money down the road for WWE and Xia Li. So we'll see. But I'm actually very optimistic on all these NXT call-ups, especially with Austin Theory taking out Jeff Hardy this past Monday.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Cool. I thought that was pretty cool. It's definitely a lot more memorable than what he did last year with Zelina Vega, Angel Garza, and Andrade. So that was a different situation. And then he did that whole situation with Monday Night Rollins as a Messiah. So didn't work. This works.
He just turned 24 as well, so there's plenty of time to figure out what works and what doesn't. Yeah, there's a lot of time for Austin Theory, and and Rich Holland. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's the prototypical guy that Vince likes, and he's been impressive.
Big meaty men.
Yeah, he's been impressive in NXT. He was basically, when he came back from that gruesome leg injury, he was basically on a winning streak that made you think that maybe that he was going to jump Pete Dunne in the NXT title picture. And then all of a sudden he started losing matches. And that's what made me think he was, I predicted that he was going to get drafted because he started losing matches, and which was weird because they were really fast tracking him once he came back from injury. So I think Vince probably saw what he could do once he was on that winning streak. with Pete Dunne and Lorcan and Birch before they turned on him. So I think Vince, and obviously, there were reports that Vince had been, paying a lot more attention to NXT for reasons that we now know are 2.0. So.
Well, it's definitely interesting. I think, like my comment with Xylee being marketable, I think that also is the situation with Rich Holland. So
yeah,
we'll just have to see what's going to happen with this Legado and Fantasma feud. If he drops it, if we're going to see not Rich Holland with him, but he had a feud. Who does he have a feud with in NXT?
Right now. Pete Dunne, are you talking about Pete Dunne and Rich Holland?
Yeah, there we go.
Not really anybody right now.
Right.
Dunne's been kind of getting in the face of Tommaso Ciampa a little bit. They disposed of Lorcan and Birch, but they really never followed up on that at all.
Yeah. So he's not involved in anything major right now.
No, not like Hit Row is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, guys, it's time for Freestyle Friday. Get your questions in, your comments on screen. We got tons of stuff here in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. Go ahead and do that now so that way you never miss when we drop brand new content. Tonight, Friday, we have Smack Talk right after AEW Rampage at 11:05. They're going to be running down and reviewing not only SmackDown, but AEW Rampage with Dirty Dutch Mantel, SP3, and Rick Cucino. So go ahead and catch that tonight at 11:05 p.m. So let's jump into some of these questions. Anthony Manzano on YouTube saying, Jose, do you think they're going to try to separate Bobby and Gable Steveson so they can build their own characters instead of what they're doing with the Creed brothers?
I think obviously they're definitely looking. I mean, they're going to probably have Bobby come up through NXT, and obviously with Gable just skipping NXT, I think they're definitely going to have them separated for quite some time now.
Randy Sam watching us on YouTube. Jose and Jeremy, any news on Davey Boy Smith? I think I did see an article earlier today on Davey Boy Smith, didn't we?
Yeah, he's been kept off television due to COVID right now. I think he must still be overseas. He might be, I don't know if he's overseas right now or what exactly is going on, but I do know COVID was the reason why they've kept him off of television and has not been drafted. But it sounds like that he might be on his way pretty soon. Let me see if I can pull up that article from today. There was something from today. It just said, I think
it was just a COVID situation. I think he was just tested positive. I think that's why he hasn't been on TV.
Yeah. Meltzer had reported earlier this week that it just his return was delayed due to COVID. So nothing really too much else in there. Him and Theory had a dark match against Zion Quinn and Odyssey Jones back in July. So he must have actually contracted COVID himself and was just trying to get over it.
Jesse Hyde watching us on YouTube. So we got Brock versus Roman at Mania. That's what we're going to get in Dallas. So does WWE possibly call Kairi Sane for a women's title match at WrestleMania 38 when the world opens up for worldwide for fans again? I don't know, because Kairi Sane, she left, but I know she was working some situation with NXT in Japan, but I know that they closed that division down. So I don't know what the situation is right now with Kairi Sane. I don't know if she's still an ambassador for WWE in Japan, but I would love to see Kairi Sane back into WWE.
Oh yeah, definitely. It didn't sound like she was going to return to wrestling in the States, especially after getting married. I think she was just going to maybe be that ambassador. So I don't know if she has changed her mind on that or not. But when she had left, the plan was she wanted to leave on purpose because she was getting married and everything. So that's completely up in the air right now.
Stephen Chambers, Brock versus Roman, Heyman on a pole match.
There's a Russo classic right there, bro.
King Dixon, man, if they play this right, the bloodline can be huge.
Yeah. Adding to it is probably going to be something to keep, especially the Lesnar feud going through Mania by adding to it or who knows what they can do with it. But there's a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna try to not butcher this name, and I apologize in advance, Justin Shataya. That's what I'm gonna say, Shataya. All right. So Justin saying they need to stop recycling feuds. Well, here's the thing. All feuds are recyclable one way or another. They just kind of make little tweaks here, make little tweaks there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I see what he says. I don't know about feuds, for example, but they recycle matches over and over and over. And we're getting another one of those tonight with the first round of the Queen's Crown tournament with Liv Morgan and Carmella again.
Anthony Manzano again watching us on YouTube. Jose, I can see what they're trying to do with Parker. They wanted him to be his own person instead of people constantly comparing him to Brock and expecting him to be Brock.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They needed to shave his head.
Yeah. The problem with that though, it just doesn't look good on camera.
Yeah, I don't know what
they're else.
Yeah, he looks like I don't know what they're trying. It almost looks like they're trying to do what they did with what's his name? Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're trying to go that Lars Sullivan route with him
he
or
needs
not.
to grow a beard or something. Like, I don't know.
It's interesting because he looks like a heel. It's weird because he looks like a heel and Joe Gacy's a heel. So yeah, I don't know exactly.
I like Joe Gacy though. I like what Joe Gacy is bringing. I like him. I like what he's doing. I said
that from the beginning. I kind of liked what they're doing with it. A lot of people hate it. Well, if you're hating it, he's doing his job. So I wonder, it almost feels like he might turn into this crazy like Waylon Mercy type of character. Kind of like to see where this is going with him. Stephen
Chambers saying Steveson to the Hurt Business.
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good fit for him. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know we don't know. We don't know.
To be solo. I don't want it to be aligned with anybody.
Yeah. We don't know what his personality is going to be like in wrestling. Nobody really knows yet because he's just getting started. So.
All right. Few more of your questions here. Wouldn't mind to see Steveson in the Hurt Business, but he turns on them, Bobby. Let's see here. We got a question here from Majaj. I think we just addressed Davey Boy news. We'll be heading to Raw or SmackDown. Will you like to see WWE bring back the European title for SmackDown? The European title. I think that's kind of like what the UK title is now, right? It's like it's like the modern era version of the European title.
Yeah, the UK title is a little bigger now, but yeah, I mean, the European title was like smaller than the secondary title, and I don't think WWE really has room to add a title that's smaller than the secondary title. That's what they have the 24/7 title for, basically. So,
all right, one more question here we got from Victor Shiflett. He's saying, "What if the Fiend came back to face the Demon?" Oh, now we don't know where the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, where he's going to land, but he was recently released from WWE. WWE has been known to re-sign stars and bring them back. That's happened in the past. We have no current indication that that's going to happen. Mm-mm. But what I will say about this is every time they try to book a Fiend versus Demon match, it never works out. It's literally cursed.
Yeah.
Because every time they book it, it never happens. Even it'll be built up. The story's good. And then the week before, something's happened.
Yeah.
One of them got injured. One of them has to be out. Something has happened. So that match there, my friend Victor, unfortunately, is cursed.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what's going to happen. I could, and I can see both him and Braun Strowman coming back to the WWE. It wouldn't surprise me. Or, they take a few years off from that and go to Impact like it's being rumored right now. A lot of options right now, but one of those options that I do not take off the table is WWE, a return to the WWE. With those two guys, I wouldn't honestly be surprised.
Guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us here today on the Freestyle Friday edition of the Top Story. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 30,000 subscribers. The way you do that, you head over there. Not only you like this video, you share it, and then you hit the subscribe button and notification bell. That way you never miss when we drop brand new content. Tonight we got Smack Talk with Dirty Dutch Mantel, Ricocino, and SP3. They're going to be running down everything that went down on SmackDown and on AEW Rampage. This weekend we got a ton of stuff dropping, so make sure you are liking and subscribing. What do you got going on, Jeremy? What's up this weekend? What you got going on?
Oh man, this weekend I got a wedding to go to tomorrow. Other than that,
Nice.
absolutely not much.
That means you got to dapper up, don't you?
Yeah. So otherwise, not much. Just a little bit of relaxation and some football, probably. Other than that, that's about all I got going on this weekend, man. How about yourself?
I'm gonna be knee deep in horror movies. October month is my month. I already did all my Halloween decorations last weekend, so now it's just to sit back, relax. It's supposed to be raining down here all weekend, so I'm gonna be just knee deep in horror movies, bro.
Nice.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So for Jeremy Bennett, I'm Jose G. We'll see you guys next week, Monday on the Top Story. And as always, when you're watching wrestling, what's the most important thing they got to do, Jeremy?
You got to enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
Boom. Have a great weekend, guys.